Okay.
Okay.
Is this thing just on recording like now? These things are going?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
all going.
What's up, guys? It's Liberty Tree.
Lindsay and Yo, welcome back.
So, we're frazzled, but something horrific just happened, and I think I was called to make this video because I think that there's more happening here than people assume. And you and I have been talking about this for a while, that we thought that something would happen to ignite a civil war in America.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know what it would be, but after reading The Fourth Turning and The Creature from Jekyll Island and any of the other conspiracy books, if you can even call them that at this point, it was pretty obvious that at some point we would enter a civil war, if not January 6th, marking the date that will probably go in the history books, although it's been mellow, tumultuous, mellow, but that if you look at history, that's typically how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we knew something would mark it. I didn't think this would be it. I don't think you did either.
No, I did not think that we would be in a situation where America's largest youth conservative group would get targeted. And
When it's like we're talking about Charlie Kirk's death, and he, I have a lot of feelings going on, and I'm not trying to be insensitive at all. Immediately I think Yo and I both started crying. It's horrendous. I think what's important here though is it is going to get people. Immediately I saw that he would be made into a martyr, and I think the dangerous thing about him being made into a martyr or conservative is that is feeding right into the agenda that I believe is intended for this. And Charlie's a smart guy, and he argues a lot, and he uses logic and reason. And some people online, Wikipedia will claim that he feeds into conspiracy theories. So to that group of folks, we have a message for you, and I'm hoping that you hear it. And that's the left and the right recently have been uniting on something online. And I think a lot of people have seen it. And for a long time, the left has been talking about Gaza. And frankly, I don't know enough about it. I don't think you do either.
Well, I think the catalyst first was Epstein, because I think for different reasons,
Sure.
both sides were rallying behind that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think now
people are rallying
with the invasion of the Gaza Strip and everything.
I think for different reasons. Again, Epstein was for different reasons, and I think Gaza is for different reasons.
Right.
But the left and the right are uniting on things.
Yeah.
And ultimately, I think when you strip away what the issues are, they're uniting on a wealth class.
Yeah.
A class war, right?
Yeah.
There is these World Economic Forum elitist people who are trying to determine our fate and our future. And I think I recently, like a few weeks ago, if not a week ago, criticized Charlie and said, "Hey, Charlie, I heard you took money from AIPAC." And I'm like, what's up with that? Why aren't you commenting on Gaza and this and that?
Because he was pretty quiet on it.
He was quiet on it, and he's somebody who argues about a lot of things. And I question whether or not he was going to bite the hand that feeds him, because I think, from my understanding, he took money, and I understand he had to take money to start this up. But I suspect he was not in good turmoil with this organization. And to me, it seems that the left and the right are uniting. And it is interesting timing that this catalyst, what I do believe he will be made into a martyr, and I'm not trying to be insensitive. It's just, if you look at martyrs throughout history, Martin Luther King Jr., for example, he was predominantly a peaceful protester. Charlie is an activist who is not violent at all. He goes to schools and argues with people.
He's not a lawmaker.
He's not a lawmaker. He doesn't do anything like that.
Right.
And so for him to be targeted in this way, people immediately are like, the left did this, da 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 da, and immediately is like, this is war. And I'm like, that is the intent. That is the goal. This shooter, there's a ploy, there's a fake, there's a dummy. It is so on brand for our government and for everything that they have done in the past.
I mean, if you also look at this from an analytical standpoint, no shooter found, shot point blank, so professional, the precision, it screams it screams honestly Kennedy, and it screams Martin Luther King in a way. Like, this is a trained killer, unfound,
I'm sorry, but an
you couldn't
angry,
take a better
well,
shot.
and I'm like, I'm sorry, an angry, deranged liberal. First of all, they don't use guns.
Right.
I mean, I'm sure they do when they go shoot up schools. Like that's a whole other
They
debate.
most likely, their hands probably shaking. They're
Yeah,
angry. Like, they
they're
most
not going to
likely
get a
will
perfect
miss.
kill shot. Like
Right.
that's just unlikely.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm not trying to be insensitive. I think the point of this is to try to get it out right now to say,
Right.
hey, take that energy and let's refocus where
Well,
it's actually
for the
supposed to
folks that
go.
are thinking, well, if it's not the left, then who is it? I think
It's the
we need
wealth
to look
class.
at, it's the wealth class, and I think it's the people that own the triple digit, the three, what is it? The three letter
The
organizations within our
CIA,
government, the
the
FBI.
the CIA and the FBI, who owns them, who's lobbying to control America. There is a reason why we couldn't get to Epstein.
Right.
There's a reason we can't question Gaza. We can't say that it's a genocide.
Right.
There is obviously another power here
Right.
that doesn't want these classes
Right.
of working class peasants. That's what we are. We are peasants to them. We're little bugs they see us as to
Right.
squash. And I think that Charlie took money and they believed he was their puppet to do whatever they fucking wanted with.
And I think also he was getting a backing. I think he was getting a massive
Yes,
backing.
I'm pretty sure like you can look it up. I mean,
Right.
we looked it up before. That's why I was pissed because
Yeah.
I've watched many of his videos and I normally agree with him on quite a few things. There's things I don't agree with him on, but I don't agree with taking money from APAC. I'm sorry.
No. Not only that, I'm talking about his following. I think he's making bigger waves,
sure.
and I think his original goal was only to move like 10% of the young vote,
Sure.
something like that.
I think it's, if you think about it this way, if this man were to switch and bite the hand that fed him to get this thing up and running, it's so dangerous. I mean, the youth, that is what founded America. Like 25-year-olds, 30-year-olds, those are our founding fathers. Like that age demographic, they've systematically, when I say they, I mean the World Economic Forum, I mean Bill Gates, I mean Larry Fink, I mean George Soros, I mean the entire population of people that are pushing for this. And I don't want to go over time.
If you also swing a large percentage of university students, I mean, you already have trades folks and ag folks who are most likely going to be conservative. Now, where do they get you on the left? They talk to you in the universities. That's where they indoctrinate. I was. That's where the professors get in your ear. And then there's the organizations, and then there's the meetups, and blase. You start to swing that. That's a dangerous looking future for somebody who likes partisanship.
Yeah, because they like to have it divided.
Absolutely.
Because, again, just like the kings back then, what did they say? We'll let them have circuses and bread, and then they'll never rise up or something. There's some quote. You can comment it. I know you know the quote. It's like, if we give them distractions, they'll never rise up.
Sure.
Well, what's the best distraction besides to hate each other?
Right.
And in a peasant class that is uniting, is incredibly dangerous.
So for the folks that are immediately wanting to blame the left, I would definitely double check yourself. Also, check
the motives.
Check the motives, and careful with chat, because ChatGPT is also compromised, in my opinion.
It's owned.
It's owned.
I mean, we've already hit a threshold a few times where you hit it and it goes, you can't do this. It's against our security features. And you ask questions all the way around it. So again, we can go down a rabbit hole. That's probably for a different video.
That's for a different reason, but I know there's folks that are immediately going to go there as a resource.
Yeah, they're going to try to immediately make him a martyr. They're immediately going to check ChatGPT. They're going to immediately start talking about this. And I believe that is our duty. We're nobody. We're nothing. But to realize that there's a high probability here that this is motivated most likely by our 3-digit entities that are owned by World Economic Forum folks. We'll just say that.
BlackRock, Blackstone, you name it.
So it's like
the big boys.
When people are saying they, who's they?
Right.
We've gone over who they
is. Just look at who's running those corporations. Just look into that.
Who's lobbying?
That'll tell you.
Who's lobbying your government
and
officials?
Their connections.
So
it's not that hard to find.
There's like 1,000 families. I think that's one of these books. Is like the 100 families that made America, and it's like in the whole world, it's like 1,000 families. That's who they is.
Right.
It may not seem like they're shadowy cloak figures, but maybe sometimes they are, maybe sometimes they're not. But at this point, they're speaking at these World Health Organization and the World Economic Forum meetings, they're openly talking about depopulation. They're talking about CBDCs, government surveillance control, and it sounds insane because it is insane.
Right.
It is insane.
So before you go ahead and blame somebody across the aisle, definitely look at it more critically and just ask yourself.
In my experience so far, since Trump has won, the left was angry. They cried. They had their meltdown.
Right.
But they have since calmed down. Like, I have not seen them rolling up. I've seen little protests here and there, but by no means are they as
absolutely
insane
so
to
angry.
do this. This to me is so asinine. It makes no sense. Right. But for the elite party, this makes perfect sense because the parties were uniting.
Look at motive. Look at motive. Absolutely.
All right. This video is probably getting long.
All right.
We'll see you in the next one. We haven't been here in a while,
We've been super busy.
Really, we needed to tell you.
Tumultuous. So thank you guys for listening. Until the next one.
All right.